TLO, what's poppin'? We are on Twitch, not live, but you can leave a like, comment, subscribe, turn on your post notification bells. Let's continue to grow the family from Chicago to the UK. Right behind me, you see it. Warning screen. We probably need it. It's there anyway. Twitch.com is where you can catch a live stream. Usernames at the bottom. We also got Patreon. Monday through Sunday, Premier League highlights, UK TV shows, UK movies. This is how London's luckiest gangster was finally caught. OCG TV. He ain't that lucky, but luck always run out. That's off rip. That's why you gotta have God.
Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Non-profit, educational or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use. No copyright infringement intended. All rights belong to their respective owners.
In the shadowy underworld of East London, they called him the criminal Houdini. 3 times Nana Opong faced murder charges. 3 times he walked free. Each acquittal only enhanced his reputation as an untouchable figure, a man who could outmaneuver justice.
First and foremost, that's more than a criminal. Oh, luckiest gangster. Okay.
Itself. But even the most charmed lives eventually meet their reckoning. On his 4th dance with the law, the 44-year-old drug kingpin finally saw his luck run dry, sentenced to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 38 years for an execution-style killing that shocked even hardened detectives. You are watching OCG TV.
Yeah, it's over with. You 44, 38 minimum, you gonna be an old man in there. You might never touch no woman again. You know how the prison guards do over there, though.
Notorious journey through London's criminal landscape began early. In December 1999, when he was just 19 years old, he faced his first murder charge for the killing of Jeremiah Oki in Plaistow, East London. Details of this case remain sparse, but what is known is that by March 2001, a jury at the Old Bailey found him not guilty. It was his first brush with a serious charge and his first escape from justice's grasp. With this,
dang, bro was 19 right here? Yeah, he was really in the streets. You could see it.
Serious charge and his first escape from justice's grasp. With this acquittal behind him, Opong spent his 20s deepening his connections in London's criminal networks, rather than using this second chance to...
I swear, if you get bagged for an M, this is in any hood. You get bagged for an M and you beat it, you the man. You can legitimately not have even done it. It don't matter. The charge is on you. You beat it. You got like a certain level of aura.
Reform, he immersed himself in drug dealing and occasionally worked as hired muscle. The patterns that would define his criminal career were already solidifying: violence, narrow escapes, and a growing reputation for invincibility. Opong's 30th birthday celebration on May 28, 2010 should have been...
Bro, a Gemini, his birthday 2 days after mine. You know what? It makes sense. And he got a widow's peak like I used to have to before I was, issued this baldy.
A milestone. Instead, it became a...
Like, Geminis are geniuses, so it makes sense. He just used his genius for the streets.
Bloodbath that would once again see him in the dock facing murder charges. He had booked the Sugar Lounge nightclub in Forest Gate for an all-night party that attracted various armed groups from East London's gang scene. As court reporter Paul Cheston memorably described it, the quiet suburban street was transformed into a scene from a Quentin Tarantino film. Around 6:30 a.m., as dawn broke...
That's not funny,
and revelers prepared to leave, a guest named Eugene Brown fired 4 shots into the ceiling. Chaos erupted. In the ensuing melee, Brown...
Did they say at 6 a.m.? What was the party like? How? I know in Chicago it's easy to have a party because they have afters. They start at 6 a.m. But this started at night and went till 6. Like, what this party scene like over there?
And another
Where's
man
the police?
Patrick Ford were chased from the club and shot dead. Prosecutors alleged that Opong and his associate, 37-year-old Michael Smith, were the killers. The violence didn't end there. Kevin Powell, a friend of the victims, pursued Smith, distinctively dressed in a white suit, and shot him after he fell near a bus stop. Smith survived, and Opong claimed to have found him bleeding in the street. In a statement that perhaps revealed more than he intended, Opong told...
Bro got ran down, stood over, hit up, and survived? Who is that? Wolverine? Who is this dude? This is Wolverine. Wolverine would never be caught like... Maybe Deadpool. Deadpool would be caught like this.
In a statement that perhaps revealed more than he intended, Opong told the court, "I'm not the devil. I saved someone's life in it." It was an odd choice of words for a man who presented himself as simply a good Samaritan. Smith was eventually convicted of the double murder and sentenced to 34 years. Kevin Powell received the same sentence for attempted murder, but once again...
So what did he do? He went back and got it retried?
Opong slipped through the net.
How?
After 2 trials where juries couldn't reach a verdict, prosecutors decided to cut their losses rather than pursue a 3rd trial. Instead of a life sentence, Opong served just 2 years for perverting the course of justice.
When you got a little bit of money and you can afford to go to back to back like that, sometimes they will do that. If you could leave the jury hung a couple times, no verdict, all right, well, hey, it's time for y'all to give it, especially in the UK. They ain't really trying to...
Within 2 years of his release, Opong found himself facing another murder charge. This time, the violence unfolded at the Beaver Centre in Dagenham during another early morning party. At around 5:35 a.m., 25-year-old Ashley Latty was set upon by a group of men who kicked, punched and repeatedly stabbed him.
Didn't we see like a documentary on this dude before? And this is the second party at past 3 a.m. Past 3 a.m., what? There's nothing there for you. There's literally nothing there. The vibes is getting spooky.
In April 2015, 2 of Opong's associates, Nicholas Terrelong and Tyler Burton, both 28, were convicted of Latty's murder and sentenced to life imprisonment. But in what became a pattern, Opong himself was acquitted of murder. Instead, he received a 4-year sentence for attempting to commit grievous bodily harm, a relative slap on the wrist considering the violence that had occurred.
Yeah, how did that even happen? Down from an M to a attempted grievous bodily harm?
By now, Opong's remarkable ability to evade murder convictions was cementing his reputation. 3 strikes, and he still remained at liberty. In criminal circles, this pattern earned him the nickname of Teflon Don, a reference to the notorious American gangster John Gotti, who similarly seemed immune to conviction until his luck finally ran out. Released in 2017, Opong immediately returned to what he knew best, drug dealing. He had established connections with prominent criminal figures, including gangster Carl Dredd Robinson and East London businessman David Hunt. Even the COVID-19 pandemic, which began shuttering businesses in March 2020, didn't hinder his cocaine operation.
Oh, no. It's in America too. The COVID did nothing for COVID. It affected real life 9-to-5ers. It did not affect the underworld at all. As a matter of fact, it made it boom. In America, Trump was handing out whatever he was handing out. Or whoever was the president, I don't even remember. Obama, he was handing out $700 a week. They were spending that 100%.
During this period, Opong utilized 2 phones on the EncroChat encryption.
My bad. Allegedly is what I said. Allegedly. RPGTA 5, they was doing all that in Chicago.
Network a sophisticated communication system favoured by high-level criminals across Europe that promised complete security. What users like Opong didn't know was that French police had managed to hack into EncroChat's server in Roubaix, northern France, and were monitoring thousands of messages. The timing of what happened next represents one of the most extraordinary coincidences in recent criminal history. On June 13, 2020, EncroChat sent an emergency message to all its users. Today we had our domain seized illegally by government entities. They repurposed our domain to launch an attack to compromise the carbon units. You are advised to power off and physically dispose of your device immediately. That very same day,
I ain't gonna lie, at least they sent out that little warning.
June 13th, 2020,
that's above and beyond.
Commit the murder that would finally end his run of avoiding justice. Robert Powell, known as Fox, was no ordinary victim. A manager for drill rapper Dutch Avelli, he was also...
Oh, this is what Dutch was talking about in that, when he lost his dude at Fox, and he was like his brother, and his Fox's son put out the messages on Instagram and altered them. Okay, this is who he was talking about.
So well connected in London's underworld. The exact motive for his killing remains unclear, though it's understood that Opong bore a grudge against Powell, according to sources close to the case. Fox had once abducted and tortured Opong and had bragged about it for years afterward, a humiliation that may have festered in Opong's mind until he decided to take revenge. This has never been confirmed. The murder was...
So basically what you're saying is Get Back has no age. R.I.P. though. But I'm just saying, that's what I heard.
Meticulously planned. Opong's co-defendant, Isra Shah, parked his Toyota Prius outside a party venue, deliberately choosing a vehicle that partygoers would mistake for a minicab, waiting for fares. From this position, Shah could monitor the exit and alert Opong when Fox emerged. As Fox left the party with his two sons at 4:46 a.m., Opong emerged from a Ford Cougar and opened fire. He shot Fox 7 or 8 times, including once in the temple. A bullet...
Dang. That's a real I hate you type M. 8 times? That's over.
That passed through his head, damaging his eye and teeth. The fatal wound, however, was a shot to the neck. A cosmetic gold teeth brace Fox had been wearing was later found on the ground nearby. 2 women sitting in a nearby car were also injured by stray bullets, one in the foot and the other in the leg. As Fox's sons cradled their dying father, Opong and his getaway driver fled the scene. Fox was rushed to hospital but died the following day. After the murder, Opong fled the country. In September 2022, more than 2 years after the killing, he was finally captured in the back of a lorry trying to enter Morocco, carrying a fake Maltese passport. He was extradited to the UK in June 2020.
Bro looked like a upstanding citizen. Looked like he never broke the law right in this picture at this moment. Look, glasses around his neck. You know what I'm saying? This is shocking.
To face justice. At his trial at Woolwich Crown Court, Opong presented himself as a respectable figure, wearing glasses and smartly dressed in a crisp white shirt and dark tie. He appeared calm and collected under cross-examination. His defense was clever. He claimed he had fled abroad, not because of Fox's murder, but because the EncroChat hack had exposed his drug-dealing operation. The timing matched perfectly.
That is smart. That's a much lesser charge than an M.
Both events occurred on June 13th, 2020, making his explanation plausible enough to create reasonable doubt. Opong claimed that on the night of the murder, he had attended a party in Redbridge, then tried to visit his girlfriend, Monica Holder, who refused to let him in. According to his testimony, he returned to his luxury apartment in Admiralty House, Wapping, around 4 a.m., an alibi that would place him far from the murder scene. But the prosecutor methodically dismantled Opong's story. Records showed Opong's key fob wasn't used to enter his building until 8:14 a.m., hours after he claimed to have...
That's the problem. When you got them outstanding apartments, you wouldn't even think about this. I've never thought of this. Has never crossed my mind until today. That would be it. You would have to figure out. Never mind.
Returned. When confronted with this discrepancy, Opong quickly replied that his flatmate had let him in, a convenient explanation that the jury ultimately didn't buy. The prosecution also presented evidence that one of Opong's associates, Trevor Hamilton, had been sending him screenshots of Fox's Instagram posts in the days leading up to the murder. When questioned about this, Opong appeared to insinuate that Hamilton might have been the actual killer, prompting the KC to accuse him of tailoring his story to fit the evidence. Throughout the trial, Opong's romantic entanglements became a focal point. When questioned about his relationship with Monica Holder, whom he seemed obsessed with in messages, Opong delivered one of the trial's most memorable lines. "I told Monica I loved her. I told Rakisha I loved her. I told Carla I loved her. I told Erica I loved her."
Monica, Rakisha, Carla, Erica, told all of them I loved them, but was outside burying. My fault. Like a DMX lyric. That's
responses and carefully constructed alibi. The evidence against Opong was overwhelming. The EncroChat messages, burner phones, and cell site evidence all placed him at the scene. After deliberation, the jury unanimously convicted him on all counts. In May 2024, Opong's remarkable run of escaping justice finally ended.
That's crazy. His birthday month, too.
Judge Joel Benetton, KC, sentenced him to life imprisonment with a minimum term of 38 years. In his sentencing remarks, Justice Benetton didn't mince words. "Nana Opong, from all I have seen of you and heard about you, you are an extraordinarily dangerous man." The judge also referenced Opong's involvement in previous fatal incidents. "Neither of those histories mean you were responsible for those deaths, but both your convictions show you associating with groups who kill people, and both show you playing some sort of role in those events. The investigation isn't fully closed."
Not even gonna lie, man. He might could beat this still, too.
Tempitop Adeyinka, another alleged accomplice in the murder, was recently extradited from Spain and faces trial soon. Sources close to the prison system suggest Opong may face difficulties behind bars, having made numerous enemies throughout his criminal career. The prison service might send him to high-security facilities like HMP Full Sutton or HMP Frankland to keep him isolated from those who might seek revenge. The earliest Opong could possibly be released is...
So what, they gonna PC him up? That ain't gangster. You gotta keep it P. You gotta be outside in the wing with everybody else.
October 8th, 2060.
This the life you chose.
When he would be 80 years old. From Teflon Don to life prisoner, his fall has been as dramatic as his rise. After dodging justice 3 times, Nana Opong's luck finally ran out when he chanced his arm once too often. The man who once boasted, "I'm not the devil," will now have decades behind bars to contemplate the lives he destroyed and the path he chose.
You can never go undefeated, man. Eventually, they're gonna build so much evidence, or they just gonna be like, you know what? We just gonna slam them just because we still don't got the evidence, but I want them. It's over.